Good morning, students. My name is MS SOMASHEKHARA, Sri Nilamika Girls High School, Srigare. Today, I will teach you a poem from the 10th standard, Grandma Climbs a Tree. Grandma Climbs a Tree is a poem written by the famous poet Ruskin Bond. See, here is a portrait of Ruskin Bond. Ruskin was born in May 19th, 1934. His age is 86. He was a famous Indian writer in English. His occupation was an author and a poet. He written so many books, but he was very famous for he has written more than 30 books for the children's. The present poem, Grandma Climbs a Tree. Grandma Climbs a Tree is one of his famous poems. So come to the first stanza of the poem, Grandma Climbs a Tree. My grandma was a genius. You would like to know why? Because she could climb trees, spreading or high. She would be up their branches in a trice. And you mind? When last she climbed a tree, she was 62. Ever since childhood, she had this gift for being happier in a tree than in a lift. The first stanza, the poet says, this poem, the poet himself is the speaker. The poet Ruskin Bond speaks himself about his experience about his grandma. He said, the poet's grandma was a genius. Genius means very intelligent, very special, very skilled. The poet said his grandma was genius. Do you know why? He asks us. You would like to know why? You would like to know why the poet called his grandma genius? Because she could climb trees spreading or high. Why did the poet call her genius? Because she could climb trees. Whether it is a spreading, it's a width or tall tree, should be up their branches in a trice. Trice means quickly. She can quickly climb the trees. Any kind of trees, whether it is a long tree or spreaded tree, she could climb very easily. That's why the poet called his grandma as a genius. The first stanza, the poet says his grandma was genius. What was her genius? She could climb any trees easily. And you mind, when she last climbed a tree, and also he reminded the reader, do you know when did she last climb the tree? That is, she was at 62. At the age of at the last time when she climbed the tree, at the time her age was 62. At the age of 62, most of the people are unable to walk properly. But in that age, she climbed the trees very easily. That's why the poet called her genius. She had that habit. Ever since childhood, she had this gift. The poet says, the climbing a tree was not a new skill for her, new habit for her. She had that habit ever since her childhood. She had that gift from her childhood because for being happier in a tree than in a lift. Why did poet's grandma like to climb the tree? Because she felt happier in a tree than in a lift. Okay. Have you understood the first stanza? The first stanza, the poet says his grandma was a genius because she could climb any kind of trees easily, very quickly. Even at the age of 62, she climbed the trees. It shows her ability. She had that rare gift or habit, not now, but from her childhood, because she always feel happy in a tree than in a lift. Okay, come to second stanza. The second stanza, the poet says, and though as years went by, should be told, that climbing trees should stop when one grew old, and that growing old should be gone about gracefully. She had a laugh and said, "Well, I will grow disgracefully. I can do it better." And we had to agree. For in all the garden there was not a tree. There was not a tree. The poet says, in the first stanza, the poet says her genius, her ability and habits. In the second stanza, he gives the discrimination. And though as years went by, she would be told. As years went by, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, after the 60, the people will lose their strength in the body. That's natural. That's why after the years went by, she would be told. The family members told her that climbing trees should stop when grew old. They gave a suggestion to the grandma that climbing a trees should stop because in this age, at this age of the 60s, it is not suitable for you because you are grew old, you have lost the strength. That's why family members told, and that growing old should be gone about gracefully. The family members also advised. Why did she stop to climb the trees? Because they wanted that our age old should gone about gracefully, peacefully. She should lead her age old life in a peacefully. But grandma, do you know what grandma's reply? She had laughed and said. By hearing the suggestion of the family member, she laughed and said, "Well, I will grow disgracefully." If you say climbing you should not to climb the trees gracefully, she want to be disgracefully. It means she don't want to stop climbing the trees. Still, she wanted to continue the climbing the trees because it gives a certain kind of the joy for her. That habit gives her certain kind of happiness. Moreover, she was well know about her ability. I can do it better, and we had to agree. I can do it better, she is told. I can do it better than previous years. The poet says, and we have to agree. Yes, we have to agree. Her ability, definitely she can climb the trees very easily, even in such age. For example, for in all the garden there was not a tree. For in all the garden there was not a tree. There was no tree in the garden not climbed up by her. She has climbed all the trees, whether it is a small, long, old, every tree in the garden were tried by her. That shows the ability. The ability, even in such an age of 60s, she did not want to stop the climbing the trees because she was optimistic about her ability. And the poet says we have to agree her ability because in the garden there was no trees left by her. Every tree she has climbed. Have you understood the second stanza? Shall we move to the third stanza? Okay. She had not been up at one time or another, having learned to climb from her loving brother when she was 6. But it was fearful by all that one day she would have a terrible fall. The outcome was different. While we were in town, she climbed a tree and could not come down. The third stanza. She had not been up at one time or another. She had not been up at one time or another. Now she has avoided something for the climbing trees, having learned to climb from her loving. So who taught her climbing the tree? Yes, she has learned to climb the trees at her early age by her loving brother when she was 6. It means when she was a 6 years old girl, then she learned to climb the trees by her loving brother. But it was feared by all. Now all the family members were feared. What was their fear? That one day she would have a terrible fall. One day definitely she would going to have a terrible fall and she would make some problems in her health. But the outcome was different. While we were in town, while the poet and the family were in town, she climbed a tree and could not come down. She climbed a tree and could not come down. So, as their suggestion, she did not accept, but she did not obey their suggestion, but she climbed a tree when they were in the town, but at that time she could not come down. She went up the tree, but could not come down. So today we have learned about the three stanzas from the poem Grandma Climbs a Tree. In the first stanza we learned that the poet's grandma was a very genius. Her genius was climbing the trees very easily, very quickly, what kind of the tree it may be. The second stanza we learned about ability. In the second stanza we learned about her ability. The family members gave the suggestion her age old should go gracefully, but she did not agree. She told she can do better than previous. And the poet said they had to agree that. In the third stanza, the family members told that she had learned that habit from her childhood, from her loving brother, but they had a fear that one day she would have a terrible fall, but the outcome was different. When the family members were in the town, she climbed a tree but could not come down.